Can man live in space? 5 years, 15 years, or for life? People like to talk a lot about living in space, but what if it had already happened? And the first humans had already settled down in space? What would life in space look like? Would we be able to live on the surface, or would we have to hide underground from the solar radiation we would be exposed to? Would we be able to terraform it? What exactly would happen if we lived in space? Have you ever felt like getting off this planet? Humans are great at living in harsh conditions. Even before modern technology, we had spread out to live on all of Earth's continents, from the icy areas of North America, Europe, and Asia to Australia's hottest parts. But still, there are so many places on Earth where humans can't survive, like underneath the ocean or the South Pole. Welcome to Brainbender Solarium. Join us as we travel through space and explore the question, can man live in space? Well, consider Mars, the fourth rock from the Sun. It gets as close as 56 million kilometers away and as far as 401 million kilometers away, depending on the time of year. Even if you leaped into the fastest spacecraft ever made from Earth, it would take between 40 days and 9.5 months to get there, depending on the planet's location. After all that time in space, you would finally land on the lifeless and dry planet of Mars. Would you be capable of surviving there? What would you need to survive in space anyway? First of all, you'd have to figure out how to produce oxygen to breathe. The Martian atmosphere is very thin and comprised of 95% carbon dioxide. It is impossible to bring oxygen with you, but you would extract it from the carbon dioxide with machines like NASA's MOXIE. This would provide you and other Martian settlers with breathable air and provide you with a liquid oxygen propellant. That's what you need to lift a rocket off Mars in case you've planned to go back to Earth. There's no fertile soil on Mars to grow food in. Instead, you'd have to use hydroponics. By cultivating your crops in a nutrient and mineral solution, no soil would be needed. Of course, without running water, your colony would only be able to grow 20% of your food, and you'd need the rest of it shipped in from Earth. But don't expect fresh meat. All your food would have to be dried. You'd probably live in inflatable pressurized buildings along with other settlers. But it is more probable that you would go underground. Because Mars does not have a global geomagnetic field and its atmosphere is thin, the levels of radiation in orbit above Mars are 2.5 times higher than at the International Space Station. This is too much solar radiation for humans to bear. Forget about tanning in the sun too. The sun would appear to be only half the size it is on Earth. So if you wanted to go out and come back alive, you'd need a spacesuit to make up for the almost absent atmospheric pressure and to block the radiation. Your suit would also keep you warm, which is necessary because temperatures on Mars are extremely low. The iciest winter on Earth is toasty warm compared to a normal Martian winter. Temperatures range from minus 55 to minus 153 degrees Fahrenheit. Not only are the temperatures low, but they also shift rapidly within a week. These variations result in strong dust storms. They would not harm you, but they'd clog all your electronics. A day on Mars is just 40 minutes longer than a day on Earth. A year on Mars would be almost twice as long though. If you stayed in the Northern Hemisphere, you could celebrate 7 months of spring and 6 months of summer, 5-month-long autumns, and another 4 months of winter. Remember too that the gravity on Mars is about 1/3 that of Earth, so you'd be required to learn how to walk again. Do you still want to move to space? Well, your best bet is to wait until the first human colonies head there to terraform the planet and make it exactly like Earth. They'd import ammonia ice from the atmospheres of other planets to heat Mars up a little. The heat would be converted to dry ice at the Martian North Pole, then into gas to give the planet an atmosphere. It would still be unbreathable for us, but at least it would be sufficient to create atmospheric pressure so that you could take off your spacesuit. Then, they'd extract water from the vast reserves of ice locked beneath Mars's surface. Water vapor would make the atmosphere thicker. Sooner or later, you would see precipitation. After 1,000 years, there would be enough air for humans to breathe. The re-engineering of the world would be complete. Is life in space something you would like to try, or would you prefer to protect what we have here on Earth? Humans don't function well if they don't have enough sunshine, so after a while, they need to get back to normal life. It's very expensive to transport all the air, food, water, and energy to space. Living in space is very risky, and people can't live without safety. There's no oxygen in space, so you can't breathe. It's cold, so you're going to freeze. There's a lot of poor radiation, both from the sun and the rest of the universe, so you'd get a really bad sunburn. Despite all this, we do have people who live in space. This incredible place that circles the Earth is the International Space Station, and people are living there day in, day out. But it's not safe for humans to live in space forever, and being in space for extended periods isn't healthy for your body. If humans ever do get to live on the Moon or Mars or anywhere else in the solar system, it will be because we figured out how to make those places safe, cool, and a little more like home. Although living in space or on Mars sounds like science fiction, people seriously talk about doing it in the future. It would be very risky and it would be very costly, but it could also be possible. Thanks for joining us. We hope you found this video interesting. If so, take a look at some of our other videos you see on the screen now. Also, ring that bell to keep up with new content that we publish weekly. We'll see you next time here on Solarium.